What's going on, everyone, and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be looking over and reviewing Neosabers FX Phantom lightsabers. So these lightsabers typically go for roughly $200 for the baselit version. I got mine for about $79. Usually they're on sale around $100, which is a pretty good price point for what I would say a lightsaber that you get from them. So as for what comes in the box, obviously you get your hilt. You have a little toolkit with a couple screws, set screws, so that you can hold your blade in place, and then you get your blade. So I went with the 36-inch version. This is my first, lightsaber, actual lightsaber. 36 is good. If you're gonna be spinning and dueling though, you might want to get a 32, but I would start with a 36 anyway. I mean, with the baselit ones, which this one is baselit, these are basically just a polycarbonate tube. So worst comes to worst, you can just cut it, and that's not a big deal. With the NeoPixel versions though, you can't do that. So I would recommend starting with the baselit version anyway. So if you're ever looking at the website and you noticed that it almost looked like there was kind of a rubber grip here, but when you get it in the mail, it's actually all metal. It's not because they didn't advertise it correctly. It actually comes with grip tape. So you can add that if you want to. I actually like that they didn't just put it on there for you. So I'm just gonna go over some of the normal, things, the specs and all that. So obviously these blades have flash on clash. So when you hit them together or hit something with it, they do flash. They're not gonna flash in a certain area because it's not NeoPixel, it's just baselit. So they're just gonna glow white for a second and that's it. They also have smooth swing. So I can actually show you what I mean here. So it's on. When I turn it on, right, there's kind of a humming, but when you move it, it's a very nice smooth swing, just like it says. So the smooth swing is awesome. It sounds super nice. The speakers are really nice on these. For what I would consider a entry-level lightsaber, this speaker is really nice, and this is on the low volume. The blades are also really strong, so it advertises, they drive over it with a car and they smack them against, gym equipment or whatever. And I was a little bit skeptical. I wanted to get blades where I can kind of hit, and so this was kind of my option. Now I've hit this thing either accidentally on things, but many, many times on purpose with another blade. And you can actually see marks on the blade, but nothing actually damaged the blade. And I was very surprised that just the two set screws that hold it in here, you can see them right there, just those two set screws are enough to hold this blade in place. And I've been swinging this thing around for days. These blades also are pre-programmed with a ton of different colors. You're not gonna be able to put any color of the rainbow on there, but they do have programmed colors in here. You get all your basic ones, and they're more than enough. We'll have a section later where I'll show you all the colors and a lot of the sound fonts and stuff. But I will say that the colors come out really nice. My favorites are the deep blue, like Obi-Wan and Anakin. The red, obviously, it's classic. The green is really nice too. Then you kind of have some in-between colors. The orange is pretty nice, but then there are some that maybe you won't be using. I guess it's up to your own taste, but I feel like I mostly use those base colors. So it's not something that you need to worry about where you don't have the full rainbow of colors. Something really cool about these that I read about in the advertising, but I never really thought about the practicality of it, was the motion controls. It's awesome. And I don't think I would ever be able to use a lightsaber again if it didn't have motion controls. It's so cool. It really is. It's awesome. And you can go through all the sound fonts. You can go through all the colors. You can turn on and off, flash on clash. You can turn on and off the motion controls. You can change the volume. All that with a single button. And that's all due to the fact that it has motion controls. Because you can hold this button down for a few seconds and then twist it. I didn't mean to do that. But if you hold it down for a couple seconds and twist it, you can actually change different settings and, things like that. So super cool. The motion controls are awesome. Another big thing here is you just unscrew it. Comes off nice and easy. There's the battery. Okay, you want to charge it. It comes with a USB-C. You just plug it right in there. I have not had this thing die on me. I charge it for like 15 minutes to a half an hour at a time, and I haven't even had to worry about it, and I've swung this thing around for like an hour or more at a time. You won't have to worry about the battery life. The battery's super easy to charge, super easy to maintain and all that. So anyways, like I was saying, the blade just kind of sits in there. So this is a baselit, so you just have a light in there, and all the light comes from that base. So there's actually no lights in your polycarbonate blade. So blade just slides in. You put 2 little screws that it comes with right in there with an Allen key that it comes with, and it's locked in. And like I said, it holds really well, surprisingly. So let me get that in there, and I'll turn it on, and I'll show you, and then we can show you all the colors and all the sound fonts and have some fun. Okay, now that the blade's in place, you can see it's not going anywhere. And we can just turn this thing on. So the light does go throughout the whole blade, but if you might be able to notice that it's brighter on this end and not so bright on this end. It's still super bright, but that's what baselets will get you. This is the deep blue that I was talking about, super nice color. The way that you can change it is just by holding it upside down, which again with the motion controls is cool. Hold down the button and then turn. And then we have red, which is probably one of my favorites. The red or the blue. I know that's kind of basic, but if you see it in real life, you'll understand. Again, I can't get over the sounds, and then you have the flash on clash, so that's pretty awesome. And there's even like some motion control trickery going on here. So if you go for like a jab and then you kind of pull it back at the last second, you'll get that flash on clash. The same thing with going downward. So it's pretty cool. It makes for some cool engagements. Like if you're swinging this thing around and then you jab it, you get that reaction. So yeah, why don't we take this outside and I'll show you some cool stuff. All right, guys, welcome outside. It's gonna be kind of hard to see me. It's not super dark out, not maybe as dark as I usually am outside with these things, but it's dark enough for me to show you. So let me start showing you some lightsaber colors. So here obviously is the classic blue. It's pretty awesome. Turn the lightsaber upside down, turn it, red. Okay, what else we got? Yellow. Pretty awesome. Got like a cyan, like a light blue kind of thing, more like a greenish blue aquamarine. Maybe not picking up on camera super well, but it's about what it is. What we got? Now we got more of like a sky blue color, like a lighter blue. Okay, next we have classic green. Green's pretty awesome here. Next, I would consider this like a very light pink, almost like a whitish pink color. Next we have like a orangey yellow type color. Then we got like a deep pink, almost purpley color. Next we got the deep orange, another one of my favorites. And then more of a purpley color. got classic, just white. Just a bright white lightsaber. Which is cool if you're going to use the Darksaber sound font, which I will show you. Then you're back to your normal blue. So those are all the colors available on the Neosabers FX Phantom. Okay, so now I kind of want to show you some of the sound fonts. So I'll show you some of my favorites. There's a whole bunch, but I'm really only going to show you some of my favorites. So let's go through them. So here we're going to have Kylo Ren. This is a super cool one. I love the hum on it and I love the motion on it. Now, I forgot to mention, but if you press the button, you actually get a blaster sound, and it's different with every sound font. Okay, that's Kylo Ren. So here we're gonna have the Darksaber sound font. Here's the blaster sound. Very classic. And then when you strike, sounds pretty damn cool. So here we have a very classic Darth Vader, and I love it just for the hum of it sitting still. I mean, that's so classic. So here we have one literally just called Dark Sith Red. I'm pretty sure it's just their base version of some character. I don't know, but it does sound very cool. I'll give them that. But I think the coolest thing maybe is the ignition of the blade and the retraction of the blade. It almost sounds like a transformer, right? Come on. And my last favorite sound font is Kestis from Jedi Fallen Order. It's a really nice motion sound when you're swinging around the blade, and I'll show you what I mean. It almost sounds like a jet is passing you by really fast. It's awesome. So, for those of you who are keen-eared, you may have noticed I kept saying Sabers while I was giving the review. Well, I wanted to duel. I wanted to swing them around and I wanted to duel with somebody when I got them, which is why I got ones that were capable of doing the spinning and also the dueling. So I came across these sabers. I got two. Nowhere in the advertising, unless I missed it, stated that they had couplers and threading at the bottom of them. So needless to say, I was very excited when I found out I could do this. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. So yeah, NeoPixels, FX Phantom lightsabers. If you can get them on sale, get them.